Hey ARMY, wherever you are. You've probably already heard the news that's been blowing up timelines these past few days, right? Two BTS members, Jungkook and Jimin, suddenly became a trending topic. Not because of a comeback, not because of a new performance, but because of one moment that left millions of ARMY around the world feeling heartbroken and frustrated at the same time. Picture this. Everyone's casually watching a relaxed live from these two matinee line members, and suddenly the mood shifts completely. What started off full of jokes and laughter turned into a serious moment that left ARMY's hearts in knots. Why? Because Jungkook and Jimin, with a firm tone and a hint of irritation, brought up the Sasaengs who keep invading their privacy. In this video I'm going to break down exactly what happened during that live, what was said that made ARMY tear up, and why this Sasaeng issue actually isn't new at all for BTS members, especially for Jungkook. Get ready, because some parts of this are going to make you rethink what it's really like to be an idol at BTS's level. Let's dive right in. So here's how it went down. Jimin and Jungkook did a live broadcast together on Weverse. For those who don't know, these spontaneous lives are always a fan favorite, because this is where you get to see the most natural, unscripted side of the members. No script, no direction, just casual conversation like hanging out with a close friend. The live pulled in tens of thousands of viewers who immediately flooded the comment section the second the notification popped up. Makes sense. Honestly, the combination of Jimin and Jungkook is always a magnet for ARMY. Their chemistry, built since their trainee days, makes their conversations never boring. There's always some funny moment that gets everyone laughing. In the beginning, the mood was genuinely entertaining. Jimin and Jungkook joked around, talked about random stuff, occasionally read out fan comments, and laughed together like usual. ARMY watching at first just settled in to enjoy the moment of togetherness between their two favorite members, with no idea a far more serious topic was about to come up. But that's the thing about unscripted lives, the conversation can go anywhere. And in the middle of all that fun, one moment came up that instantly changed the atmosphere. A moment that started off tucked between jokes, but turned out to carry a much more painful story than ARMY expected. Okay, here's the part that caused the uproar. In the middle of the casual chat, Jimin suddenly asked a question with a half-laughing tone, but there was clear frustration underneath it. He brought up how someone kept trying to break into his account. Jimin even hinted at verification codes being sent to his phone repeatedly. A clear sign that someone had been trying, over and over, to access his private account without permission. It didn't stop there. Jungkook chimed in too. With an equally exasperated tone, the Golden Matinee stated that they both already knew who was behind it. He even made a bittersweet remark implying that they had no more personal information left to leak, because everything had already been exposed by the people who kept tracking their private lives. Try putting yourself in the shoes of the ARMY watching that live in real time. 1 second you're laughing at their jokes, and the next you hear something like that. It would definitely hit different, right? Because underneath the joking tone, there was clear emotional exhaustion. The reality of being public figures whose privacy keeps getting violated over and over. What makes it even more heartbreaking is that they said all this not with an explosive burst of anger, but with a tired smile and a small, bitter laugh that seemed to mask how exhausted they really felt. This isn't the first time we've seen idol group members deal with something like this by laughing it off, a coping mechanism in front of the public. But that's exactly where the sadness lies. They have to keep looking okay even when something is clearly bothering them behind the scenes. Beyond the account hacking attempts and verification codes, it was also mentioned that their personal phone numbers had allegedly been leaked. Imagine that this isn't just about social media or some regular app account anymore. This touches something far more private. A personal phone number that should only be known by people closest to them. Jimin and Jungkook also brought up the repeated phone calls they kept receiving and asked for it to stop. This moment quickly went viral and spread across various social media platforms. X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and various international BTS fan communities. Many ARMY re-uploaded clips of the moment and shared it with all kinds of reactions, from sad to angry to calls for the agency to step in. After this moment spread, timelines were flooded with reactions from ARMY all over the world. Some were angry, some were sad, but the most common feeling was worry mixed with frustration towards Sasaeng behavior that seemed like it would never stop disturbing their favorite idol's peace of mind. Many ARMY voiced their disappointment through various posts, demanding that the agency Big Hit Music immediately tightened digital security systems for the members, especially regarding account and personal data protection. Quite a few also used specific hashtags to call for protection for Jungkook, since he's known to be one of the members most frequently targeted by Sasaeng behavior. There were also touching comments about how both idols still tried to stay calm and even slipped in humor amid a clearly stressful situation. ARMY saw this as a sign of how professional and mature Jimin and Jungkook are in handling pressure as global public figures. But on the other hand, many also felt that they shouldn't have to keep being okay about privacy violations like this. That there's a line that anyone claiming to be a fan needs to respect. One thing that stood out to a lot of fans was how some ARMY felt Jungkook has been far too patient dealing with situations like this. Instead of showing outright anger, he tends to warn people in a gentle, humor-laced way, almost as if still giving these individuals a chance to change. And this isn't the first time Jungkook has previously mentioned Sasaeng sending him food without permission, following his activities all the way to the gym, and stalking him on multiple occasions. This whole thing sparked a wider discussion among ARMY about how the fandom should behave. Many emphasized that supporting an idol doesn't mean you need to know every detail of their personal life, let alone violate their privacy through clearly illegal means like hacking accounts or stalking in real life. A true ARMY, they said, is someone who knows their boundaries and respects their idol's personal space. Now for anyone who might not be too familiar with the term Sasaeng, let me explain a bit. Sasaeng refers to fans whose behavior has gone way past what's considered normal for a fan. They don't just support from a distance, they tend to be obsessive to the point of taking extreme measures to get their idol's personal information, from stalking, tracking real-time locations, to attempting to hack into social media accounts and other personal data. And unfortunately, this Sasaeng issue isn't new for BTS, especially for Jungkook. Throughout their career as one of the biggest K-pop groups in the world, BTS members have faced numerous incidents involving Sasaengs. From ones who followed them onto planes by buying tickets in the same row, planting tracking devices on their personal vehicles, to ones who showed up directly at their apartment buildings. The Sasaeng phenomenon isn't something exclusive to BTS either. It's a fairly widespread issue across the South Korean entertainment industry as a whole. Many idols from other groups have experienced similar things, with some having to pursue legal action to protect their privacy and safety. What makes this situation even more complicated is that BTS has one of the largest and most globally spread fan bases in the world. The bigger the popularity, the bigger the risk of certain individuals twisting their love for the idol into a dangerous form of obsession. It's kind of a dilemma for BTS members. On one hand, they're grateful to have a fan base as massive and loyal as ARMY. But on the other, they also have to deal with the consequences of that popularity in the form of repeated privacy violations. If we look at it more closely, this live moment between Jimin and Jungkook actually opens our eyes to just how heavy the mental burden is for a global idol. In front of the camera, they're expected to always look cheerful, friendly, and entertaining for the millions of fans anticipating their presence. But behind the scenes, they have to face the reality that their privacy is almost never truly protected. Imagine having to feel on edge every day, knowing someone keeps trying to access your personal accounts, knows your phone number, maybe even knows where you live. This isn't just ordinary discomfort. It touches on personal security, which should be a basic right for everyone, idols included. The moment where Jimin and Jungkook voiced their frustration with a joking tone can actually be read as a form of emotional self-defense. Many psychologists describe this kind of phenomenon as a way people cope with genuinely stressful situations, wrapping it in humor to make it feel lighter, both for themselves and for the people watching. But of course, humor isn't a long-term solution. This serves as an important reminder for all of us, especially ARMY, that behind the smiles and jokes from idols, there's a weight they carry alone every single day, and as fans, we have an important role to play in making sure our support doesn't end up adding to that burden. After this live moment went viral, many ARMY started questioning what concrete steps Big Hit Music, as BTS's agency, would take. Makes sense. This isn't the first time this privacy issue has come up, and a lot of fans feel there needs to be firmer action to prevent similar incidents from happening again in the future. Some of the demands from ARMY included stronger digital security systems for both official and personal member accounts, including stricter verification systems that are harder for outside parties to breach. There were also calls for the agency to be more proactive in taking action against individuals proven to have violated privacy, including possibly pursuing legal action if necessary. Quite a few ARMY also stressed the importance of educating fellow fans about reasonable boundaries when it comes to supporting idols. Because ultimately, the Sasaeng problem can't be solved by agency action alone. It also needs collective awareness across the whole fandom to remind and hold each other accountable to healthy boundaries. This moment also serves as an important reminder for the entertainment industry as a whole, that protecting an idol's privacy should be just as much of a priority as managing their career and public image. Because at the end of the day, behind their status as global stars, they're still human beings who deserve to feel safe and comfortable in their personal lives. Thinking about it, why does a moment like this hit ARMY so hard that it becomes such a widely discussed topic? The answer is actually simple. Because it shows a human side of Jimin and Jungkook that they rarely reveal so openly in public. Most of the time we only see them as idols who always appear perfect. Great singing, sharp choreography, charming stage presence. But in this live moment, we got to see another side of them. The tired side. The side that needs privacy. That just wants to live a slightly more peaceful life, without constantly being watched. This moment also opened the eyes of a lot of newer ARMY, who might not have been too familiar with the Sasaeng issue before. For those who got into BTS through their hit songs or grand stage performances, a moment like this is a reminder that behind the glamour of the K-pop world, there's a harsh reality idols have to face every single day. And most importantly, this moment strengthened the sense of solidarity among ARMY themselves. Many reminded each other to keep supporting Jimin and Jungkook in a healthy way, while also standing together to speak out against any form of Sasaeng behavior that causes harm. So from everything we've covered, there's one important takeaway from this Jimin and Jungkook live moment. Supporting an idol doesn't mean you need to know everything about their personal life. As ARMY we have a responsibility to maintain healthy boundaries in how we support them, while continuing to speak out against Sasaeng behavior that's clearly harmful and dangerous. This moment is also a reminder for all of us that behind the smiles and jokes from idols, there's a real struggle they face every day just to protect their privacy and safety. As genuine fans, the best thing we can do is keep supporting them from a respectful distance, honor their privacy, and work together to build a healthy, safe environment within the fandom for everyone. So what do you think about this moment? Did you also feel sad and frustrated watching the live? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss any future updates about BTS and the K-pop world, and hit that notification bell so you're always the first to know when new news drops. And once again to Jimin and Jungkook, we hope you're always surrounded by strength and by people who truly respect your privacy and comfort. ARMY will always be here for you, in a healthy and respectful way. See you in the next video and stay a wise ARMY. Bye bye.